Hey guys, it's Jacqie Crafty. Product Focus Friday today. Still continuing using our Bella Boulevard stash and stamping this month. Today we are going to stamp on our layout with an icon or shape, or basically not words and not creatures. So yeah, that's what I wanted to get at. Not words or not creatures, an icon or shape. So like a circle specifically, or icon. Oh, I guess an icon could be a creature. I don't know. Either way, a stamp on your layout specific. So not words specifically, or patterns. You could create your own pattern, which would be awesome. I'm also playing along with February sketch from Scrapping Reflections. So that is super fun. A sketch a day she's doing in February. And I thought I would bring in, you get these, I love LA Studio stamps, and I have a lot of just little stamp sets that always have like the little things, the little extra things, like these things, and I don't use them enough. And so I'm actually going to use this. They're just the greater than signs, or little arrows. What are they called? There's a name for them. They have a fancy name. Somebody can think of that name. Let me know in the comments below. I can't think of it right now, and I don't feel like Googling. But I'm actually going to use this thing right there to create those circles. So we're going to do some mixed media in the background. It shows a pattern paper in the background. I don't have one that's subtle enough that's going to kind of emulate what I want with these photos. These are just 3 random photos from the winter of 2019. So I'm just going to do like a document page about activities to keep us from getting bored, essentially. I'm not sure what my title's going to be yet. I will kind of figure that out. But I figured I would use some strips from the Bella Boulevard collection we haven't even touched yet, and then also some from the ones we have, because once again, all Bella Boulevard, all their colors coordinate across their lines, which is really nice. So then I was going to stamp these circle elements using the little marks. So that's my plan, I guess. Let's get started. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is figure out what photo, well, I guess it doesn't really matter what photos I have where. I trimmed them down, all down to 4x4, but I'm going to figure out for sure where they're going to go, and I'm going to mark with a pencil, because I also decided off camera, and then I'm going to take this handy thing and draw lightly pencil in the circles so that I could stamp the little, they're arrowheads, is what I'm going to call them, but that's not what they are. I'm going to stamp the little arrow things in a circle. So what I also decided to do off camera, I was like, well, I can't just have a white background. I can't, like, it makes me itch. And sometimes it works really well, but for this, I wanted to emulate winter in a way without being like tons of snowflakes, blue, blah, blah. But I went into my stamps, and I figured, okay, it's stamping icons and shapes. A snowflake to me is an icon. Let's kind of create a pattern behind the photos, and let's just randomly stamp a couple colors, just very subtle colors on the background. And what I'm doing, so I ended up using weathered wood and hickory smoke, because there's some gray in the stripe that I wanted to use. And so I figured, why not just stamp? So I inked all the stamps with the ink pad, and then I spritzed it with water to make it kind of watercolory, so it's not like crisp, clear images. And right now, as I'm doing this, I'm like, wow, I hate this. This background looks horrible. I don't like it. But I'm like, well, let's keep going, because like Sandy says, more is more, and a lot of times I've watched other people make amazing things and I'm like, that looks so awkward, but then when you start putting everything else on, it doesn't. So I just kept going, and spoiler, it turns out cute. Like, I like it. I don't know if you do, but at the same time, sometimes that doesn't matter, right? Because it's my page. But it turns out better than what it looks like now. So right now it looks kind of like, what the heck? Like, there's no rhyme or reason to these snowflakes. There kind of is, but kind of isn't. Yeah. So it does turn out better than what it was looking, but at that point as well, I was very concerned with what I had going as a background. But it got done what I wanted to get done, which is exactly it. And it's a very subtle hint of snowflakes in the background without having tons of snowflakes. So now I'm just going through the papers that we have. And I'm kind of sad that I haven't really cut into the birthday collection until now, and I'm only going to cut in a few strips. But I'm hoping I can use more of it on the last layout, so for the month. And then do not fear, I will kill these little kits. I will use them up the rest of the month for sure, and probably into next month. So I will make sure they are dead. I will use them up, and because that's my whole goal. If I have these little kits that I'm using, I will use up as much as possible. And it's kind of nice, like when you have something packaged like this, to just use it up. So I went through and I cut a couple strips. I cut a strip of the stripe paper, a strip of the star paper, and then I trimmed down a strip of the orange wood grain paper that was from one of the other ones that we used. And then I also cut off, like, there was a cut apart sheet. I really liked the tone on ton blue, like it's triangle arrows. So then I went ahead and I took the really pretty blue paper that actually has music notes on it, but I just like the deep blue, and then the green cardstock that also came in the kit, and matted each photo on both. First the green, then the blue. And I really wanted to bring some green into this one, because I decided to do rustic wilderness is what I stamped the circles in. So wanting to really focus on some of the greens and blues, but more of the green. And I like it because it doesn't end up being like overly one color. It turns out really fun. So now I'm just layering up the strips and trying to kind of emulate what is in the sketch. So the only thing I don't get, like that you get in the sketch, is seeing that the circles overlap and underlap and kind of intertwine with the strips of paper. I don't get that look, but I feel like I get a look that's similar enough that it makes sense. I pop up this strip on foam just for some added interest. And at this point, I kind of had an idea of what my title was going to be. So I'm just layering the strips up so that they are kind of scattered around and figuring out where I want to go. And then I'm looking, I have the bins in front of me that I have, like the one bin where it's like when I just have a little bit of leftovers of things, I just toss it in. So I only had 2 words left of the foam foam thickers from one of like the foam sets. I had wild and fun. I was like, well, this is all about the random things we did during the winter just to keep ourselves busy. None of them had major stories of their own, at least that I could remember. And that's the bad thing about being so behind on scrapbooking. Like, I can't remember if I took the photo for a specific reason or not. But a lot of times what I would do is I'd take a photo because it's a cute moment. And if it was super memorable, I'd remember, or I would send it to my husband because he works a lot of weekends. But I had these foam, so I had wild and fun. So I decided to color them with rustic wilderness, which I don't know if that was the greatest idea. I think it'll stay. My fingers were very green. But I like, though, that they didn't become solid and they kind of have like a faded. So I decided to do wild and crazy winter fun and just kind of spread the title out. So wild and then fun. And then I had this wood veneer crazy. I also colored that. That was from one of the Blvd kits that I had. And then I dug through my stash and I found these green alphas that I'm pretty sure were from One Canoe 2. And I used the ampersand, and then I'm going to kind of Frankenstein a couple letters to get winter, because I didn't have an I, but there was like a leftover part of another letter that was like a short I, and then I Frankenstein an F into an E using, I think, an exclamation point. And I just like how I wasn't sure where to put winter because it's such a big word compared to all the other ones, but I like how I spread it out because then it kind of makes you travel along with the photos as you read. And I remembered, so in the sketch, they have like this journaled spot. I remember I have all these clear stickers that are journaling spots. And I was like, ooh, I think I have one that's like the perfect size for right there. And yeah, it's not like the same style or doesn't look same, but I'm like, I'm using it. It works. So I put that and I just journal about how we did all the different random things we did. Lots of game playing. My son like always beat me. He has his nana's like knack for winning games, and I'm pretty sure they're both cheaters. Just saying, putting it out there into the universe because I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then obviously playing in the snow, and then we would go visit my husband when he was working on the weekends. We would go visit him at work because the regular staff wasn't there, and it was just him and the other his other coworker, and so it was quiet. So we'd a lot of times, and this was all before COVID, so we'd a lot of times would bring him lunch or something, and then we'd hang out for a little bit and eat lunch with him, which was nice because when he's working 12-hour shifts, we don't see him a lot. So especially on the weekends, it makes us sad. And something to do. Like we didn't do it every weekend, but like once a month, I think we would go like on a Sunday afternoon after we'd go to church. Him and I would go get donuts, and then we would pick up lunch and then take it to my husband, or we'd pick up donuts and take it to the husband too. My husband. So I did go through the ephemera too that came with the birthday collection, which is Wish Big, I think. Yep. And there was a lot of cute stuff. And then I happened to find this little corrugated heart and some enamel dots that I think were supposed to go with one of the other collections, but when I like looked through them all, I must have put them in the wrong bag. But I was like, oh, we're using these. So then I kind of scattered a few hearts around, and then I found that today I tried to pick out the things that weren't so birthday, another heart, and then the good times, and then I decided it needed something. My layout, I like framing layouts, and there's certain times where I don't feel like it needs to have a frame. Like if you have pattern paper that goes all the way to the edge, sometimes that's not needed. But when it's white like this and the background's not like patterned, I need something. So I started adding black, and I didn't like it. So I found my green pen, added an outline, but then I realized I smudged it in black. So then I added a little bit of black to each corner. And there you have it. Thanks for watching, you guys. Check in next week. I'm sorry this is going up so late. I had internet troubles. But yeah, we will see you next week. Bye.